Hello and welcome to another edition of the NCCR Podcast. I am behind the scenes today, but in front of the cameras is Fire and Ice, better known as Kim Matson, and from parts unknown, Washington. She's giving herself away with a little sneaky laugh. Amanda. Psych! Ladies, how art thou?
Where from parts unknown are you?
Redmond.
Okay. Just
Real far.
Just checking, because occasionally on the news in the morning, I'll see a town in Washington that I had no idea existed, and
Do you think of me?
I do. One of them the other day was Christopher.
Oh.
Like, is somebody making that up?
Yeah.
So what part of Washington is that, Christopher?
It's kind of over in the mountainous area, eastern Washington, of course.
Oh.
In the unknown
Where George
parts.
and Martha also
The
are.
unknown part.
George and Martha over there, too.
Yeah, right?
The real unknown part.
You guys, we're back again today.
Back
Back?
like a
Yeah.
bad rash.
Oh, we just got to keep people on their toes
A
and
bad penny?
guessing.
Maybe
Are
I
they
should have
going to
said a
be
bad
there?
penny.
Are they not? Where are they?
Yeah.
Well,
Parts unknown.
What's parts unknown? Clearly, we are from parts unknown.
Amanda, I hate that. I hate technical difficulties.
I know.
The system's out getting repaired. But one thing I've come to accept, there's going to be days like this,
True.
Mama said there would be
Yeah.
And so, but hey,
another song for the podcast.
I'm glad we're back.
Yeah.
And so, hey, you
Thanks
don't
for
stop
all
the
your
show.
work on that. It's got to be frustrating.
Very frustrating. But hey,
Is that why we can't see you today? You're just talking. We can hear you.
I'm
but
just talking. I got
The man behind the curtain.
He's from parts unknown
the great
today.
Oz.
He is
I
Oz
am
today.
the
yeah.
Oz. But I have a good team, man. You two ladies are chef kisses to both of you.
Aw.
Really.
I think next time we should change seats and see what happens.
Ooh.
Oh, we can change everything, because we'll have to.
You could be ice and I could be
That's what I'm
fire.
suggesting.
Wow.
Well, someone is going on a little
Wow.
vacay, and so
Don't look at me. It's not me.
Oh, it's me.
people would be stuck seeing me and you, Kim.
I mean, they've been stuck with that before.
I know.
It's a good place to be stuck, guys.
Well, Kim, Amanda, you go away. You have a good time. Relax.
Yes.
Okay.
I will.
All right.
I'm looking forward to it.
So, ladies, we know yesterday was Father's Day.
Yes.
Yes.
Happy Father's
Happy
Day.
Father's Day.
Well, not
To all.
yesterday, but day before
Well,
yesterday.
when that day was, Happy
Yeah.
Father's Day.
It's all
to
just a big jumble of everything at this
I
point.
know.
dates
I
and
know.
times
Yeah.
don't matter.
Man, I did nothing.
That's
As
glorious.
you should.
I did nothing, and it felt great.
That's good. I'm so glad.
But enough about us and our vacay and our feelings.
Don't get us in trouble.
I got a murder the sermon.
Okay.
I think, we was talking about what Steve preached. We were just doing, build up to the show. And we landed on the prodigal son.
Yeah.
And so the theme song is, I'm coming home, tell the world.
I'm coming home.
That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, don't get us in trouble.
I know.
Again.
Take it away, ladies.
Well, the baggage for Sunday was shame, the shame
Yes.
baggage.
Yes.
As it, we've already touched on shame a time or two here
Yeah.
because it's all kind of jumbled together at some point.
And
But-
he touched a bit on the shame-based environments, whether
Yes.
it's like work or church or family. And I think we've all had an experience we've dipped our toe in that water.
Yeah. Well, where you're only as valuable as your last performance, right? So
Right.
that's why and you had a story about that you may
Oh,
you may
yeah.
want to
Well,
share.
I had a friend and she would always say, I just think you're so funny. And I think well-meaning people put these titles on us, and then that's just how they see us.
Yes.
And then every time I would be around her, I would feel pressured to be funny, or she would say like, say something funny or do something funny. And I would leave feeling like, was I funny? Was I funny enough? Did I go in with good material? Like, I feel pressure. I don't even know. Like, I don't normally feel this way. And
But you're right. That is somebody
Yes.
putting an expectation on you for a behavior that makes them feel
I
a particular
know,
way. And
right?
instead of just accepting that sometimes you're funny.
Yeah, and
That
sometimes
doesn't
I'm
mean
not.
you have to be funny all the time.
Yeah.
It's just part of who you are.
Yeah.
But when somebody wants to then make you do that or feels compelled to tell you repeatedly that,
Or they
"Well,
like
are you okay? You're
pigeonhole
not
you.
even funny today.
Yeah,
Are
like
you okay?"
you are pigeonholed as like the funny friend, and you can only be the funny
Correct.
friend. And I'm like, man, there's way more to me than just that.
Agreed.
Yes.
I think we've all had that or been that maybe to some degree where
Yeah.
you put your expectation on somebody else and
Yeah.
wait for them to perform for you, right? So, not good.
No.
That's a us thing that we need to address.
Yeah.
And then Steve talked a bit too, not a ton, but something to maybe pursue on your own is what happens when shame enters the church.
Yeah.
Because even with that story with you and your friend, there's a lot of that same stuff that goes on inside of church where he talked about it a little bit more last week where, if you're a volunteer and you did a great job doing a thing, and then the next time you volunteer, maybe that's not your wheelhouse, but bodies are just needed for a thing. And, could you have done more? There's just a lot of, and I think it's probably even a little more insidious than just somebody saying you weren't funny today.
Yeah.
It can be a little more, maybe that's too big of a word too, but kind of chip away at you a little bit in
I
a
think
different way.
so.
Like you
Yeah.
feel like maybe you didn't do enough, so maybe next time you won't volunteer at all.
Right. Yeah.
Which is harmful in
Yeah.
a multitude of ways because everybody's got a different gift and they can bring different things, and it's the way it's supposed to be. We don't all get the same abilities,
No.
which is great.
Right.
Because really, how boring would it be if we all had the same skill set?
Yeah.
Or infighting.
Boring.
Boring, as my grandson likes to say.
Yes. Yeah. So good.
Yeah. But there was prodigal son. That was pretty much the Bible verse and chapters that we read out of. And, the lessons from that obviously are God gives us free will, right?
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't always get in the way of our sinful desires. He will let us do a thing until
Yeah.
we learn a lesson.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, it isn't necessarily about the son, but the heart of the father. And he's so patient, and he just wants us to come to him and be with him. And like, I just think at different times in my life, I have been one of those two sons, right? When I was younger, I was probably more the younger son. And in my age now, I'm more the older son. But we're all in one of those places at some point.
Yeah, and I think that with the prodigal son, I mean, we are that, right? We want what we want. We want to do our thing. We have our own desires and needs and wants, and we can just get everybody else out of the way so we can pursue those things.
Yeah.
And the conflict comes, or the contrast is with the son who stayed home and did all the right things.
Yeah.
So was super legalistic, if you will, and following all the rules. And he gets his nose out of joint, right? Because you didn't throw a party for me. I mean, I've been here all this whole time doing all the right things.
Yeah.
Instead of being full of joy that his brother returned
Yeah.
and was saved. right?
Such a good example of like our humanness and what God calls us to.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. If you can't see yourself in either one of those sons, then you should probably keep reading that
Over and over.
over and over, because you might find something that fits.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that, but it does show the Father's love for us, because he welcomes us back with open arms time and time again, because we prodigal son ourselves
Yeah.
a lot. And we know, I mean, we do know, we have faith that God's going to let us come back and welcome us, and, you know, wants us to return to him.
Yeah, just
and
that
is happy
unearned
when we do.
love and acceptance and God's grace.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, unconditional versus the brother who stayed behind, did all the right things. He's got some conditional love going on there. So.
Yeah.
You know, and if I can chime in real quick, the shame aspect, how controlling shame is, right? It kept that man in a place that he definitely didn't want to be, being in the Jewish culture, and to find yourself being in the unclean, you know, animals, taking care of them, where you know that's like, ultra religiously forbidden. But
Right.
you'll find you're so shamed that you're willing to do that versus just to say, come to your sense and like, hey, Dad, I'm sorry, I messed up. But eventually he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he had to be at his complete rock bottom.
Yeah.
And then he had that, oh, shoot, even the servants that toil in the field for my father are fed every day. They're not hungry. They're sleeping
Yeah.
under cover. You know, they have
Yeah.
shelter. So, yeah. But
Well,
sometimes it takes that for people to look to God, to turn away and you know, it can't get worse than this. So maybe if I
Yeah.
go back and humble myself and really say I'm sorry and mean it.
Well, and what is he saying to the father when he's like asking for his inheritance early, right? Because it's not like, you know, back then they've got all this money in the bank. I mean, I would assume most of their wealth is in like items and land and animals and stuff like that. And it's not like they have Facebook Marketplace or some easy way to sell it. So you got to go hawk your goods to your neighbors. And you're basically telling your dad, like, your stuff is more important to me. Like, you are, you know.
Well,
like,
you're kind of
I want
saying I
you
can't
dead,
wait for you
or,
to die
you know?
because I want what's
Yeah.
mine. I want it right this second. And
Gosh.
but the dad did it.
And he let him just go, and then he
Yeah.
ran to him. Gosh, that part just kills me.
Well, life
thinking
can
of
be
that.
hard, right? I mean, those are the lessons and I think this story it's got so many facets to it. And
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
you
does.
can really go a lot of places with this, and it's just so lovely
Yeah.
that the father races to him. He sees him from
Yeah.
afar and races to him because he's so happy that he came back.
Yeah. I want to know if the older son went into the party. Like, I wish there was more. Did he go in?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it's one of those mysteries
Yeah.
that
I
we
don't
won't
know.
be able to answer.
Something I've been thinking of as we've been going through this sermon is just that wondering if our biggest problem isn't necessarily the fear, but it's the lack of trust in his love and power, and a belief like that our brokenness is keeping us from him, when in fact, like, God's message is consistently, do not be afraid. I know you. I love you. I've made a way for us. Come to the light.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. Yeah, there was a reminder I found somewhere on the interweb. Stop overthinking. Overthinking will kill your peace. Pray and leave it to God. He made a way for you the last time, and he will make a way this time. He won't leave you. Whatever you're worrying about, God has a plan. He's bigger than your fears. He's stronger than the obstacles in front of you, and he never fails you.
Yeah.
And you can't say that about anybody else, anywhere, anytime. God is 100% for us, 100% of the time.
Yeah.
And like we've said a multitude of times, we need to get out of the way and let God do what God does in our lives and for us. So,
well, don't we as humans just have a way of overcomplicating like the simple message of the gospel?
Or lots of things.
Yes. And just, it's like, it just comes back to, I don't know. I have a son that has anxiety, and a lot of times what we have to do is when anxiety strikes, it's like, what do we know to be true? In this moment, what do we know to be true? Because your mind just starts to spin, right?
Yep.
And so focusing on what God says about you and really abiding in him and being disciplined in those biblical disciplines, like being in his word and showing up consistently and praising and worshiping God. And I think that it's so easy when you have anxiety or shame or something's taking over your mind to stop doing those things because you want to go internal, right? And isolate. When the best thing you can do is just keep showing up every single day, one foot in front of the other.
Yep. That's so true. That is true.
All right, Kim, like you always do, what question you have for the audience?
Oh, that sigh means it's a good one.
Well, I'm going to do 2. I only have 3. Maybe I'll just leave all 3.
I
you
think
guys can do what
do
you
all
want.
3.
Do your feelings, shame, etc., cloud your vision of what God has done for you? Have you or do you change how you act to impress another person? And then, does God's love change you? And how can you prove it?
Yikes.
Nice.
Those are good.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Not that I doubted you.
Thanks for tuning in. Hit the like button, subscribe, so you would be in the know of what's coming on. Or you can catch the show at its scheduled programming time. Until then, we are